So, we have come to something of a conclusion here, and the conclusion is this: either God, as most all commentaries in the past seem to have presumed, called all things into physical existence, or the alternative, that he called them into existence as software, which can also be thought of as definitions, which can also be described as the word firmly upheld. We tend to resist the concept that our reality is software, perhaps simply because we do not think of software as something touchable and truly existing. We tend to think of it, perhaps, as an illusion or falsehood or something that is fake. And yet, Scripture itself states that the things which exist are not made of things which appear. Hebrews 11 verse 3. So this is a strong rebuttal by Scripture itself, the notion that the naturalists have, which is that the material universe fully self-exists, with no need for a God to support it. One could argue that perhaps Scripture is just alluding to atomic theory, because that theory reveals that things are mostly empty space. And that theory itself could be argued to say that our reality is an illusion, because the machines we have made to look at things that appear solid to our eyes are in fact small shadows with very little basis in anything solid. Just think of an X-ray picture to prove this. It was in fact Rutherford's experiment which pointed this dilemma out quite spectacularly. His researchers told him that the machines didn't see anything at all when it examined a piece of gold foil. Not anything, that is, except for a few wild bursts of particles hitting the photographic plates only at certain, very limited spots. He thought about the problem all night. The machines were saying nothing was there, but there were also these strange small bursts on the photos. It was only after wrenching his mind around for some time that he finally realized atoms were mostly empty space, with just a small, compact nucleus in the middle, and so he proposed the basis for modern atomic theory. So, modern atomic theory also implies that our reality is an illusion, that our eyes somewhat deceive us into thinking things are solid, when in fact, they are very much not. But there's more to this point as well. God himself has told us that all of this current creation will pass away, and that it will do so quite quickly when that happens, and that a new heavens and earth will replace the former. And that the new heavens and earth will be made at once, rather than over a specific 6 days as in Genesis. Note the difference here, that the first creation was made in deliberate steps, slowly, over a specific set of 6 days. The second, or new creation, instead is presented to us as a gift, placed slowly and lovingly right in front of us. So let's turn to the software version and see how solid that one is. First, it is totally dependent on God's mind to maintain and uphold it. Can we count on that? I'd say, apparently, we can. But there's more. We tend to think that things are solid and that things like rocks and steel can't be easily broken, because we can all touch them and test them, not only with our hands but also with independent machines. So these things have the scientific method to back up the argument that our reality is truly physical. But what many people may not realize is this, that the software version allows all of those same things to be found to be true exactly the same way. We now produce realities in software where the sense of touch and hardness can be felt with our own hands. We can do this not just individually but also as groups. We can all touch the same rocks and steel objects to prove that they are not an illusion. If our realities allowed us to construct machines to look into the matter of our own defined realities, the machines would report back whatever the software defined for our reality. If our reality defined atoms, the machines would report back to us the same result as Rutherford's machines did. In fact, we could define rocks in our realities that defy what real rocks do in our own reality. We could define rocks that cannot be broken ever, not by smashing one on another, not with a hammer or sledgehammer, not even with an atomic bomb. Such are the capabilities of defining a reality. Whatever rules you decide on are the ones that apply. So the scientific method could be used within our own created realities, and it could give us the very same results as we find in our own reality. So how do you know which is true? You don't. You simply can't. It is very much a matter of faith. But it should draw your attention that the Bible describes our reality as artificial. It did not previously exist. It can be overridden, as needed. As when Jesus walked on water and multiplied the loaves and fishes. And it will disappear with no fanfare when it is replaced with the new.